Hey y'all, welcome back to Life on Helton Creek. I'm Darcy. I'm glad to have you with me today. So I've been talking a little bit about my greenhouse, and I don't think I've shown it to you guys, but this is what going cheap on your plastic will get you. This is what not maintaining your equipment will get you. So, what I did was I made a huge mistake. I didn't maintain what I had. I bought cheap when I built it, and so I've got to redo everything this year. Now, I still have my planting station in there. I still have tables in there. I still have some things, wash tubs, dirt mixers, that sort of thing. But what I did is I just let everything go. It got hot in the summer, toward the end of the summer, just nearly unbearable. And a lot of other factors played a part. I didn't get out here to get the weeds cleaned out of it. I did not put a barrier on the bottom. I didn't put a weed barrier underneath. We put some creek gravel in there. And honest Injun, I never thought about putting a weed barrier in there. And that caused another big uh-oh. So 2 things if you're going to build one of these. 3 things if you're going to build your greenhouse. First and foremost, weed barrier. Put something underneath before you start to build. I don't think a weed fabric would suit you well unless it is a super thick weed fabric. And maybe gravel on top of that, or rock on top of that. Rock alone will not get it. You can't spray the rock to keep the grass out. You can't spray it to keep the weeds out. Obviously, it's a greenhouse. You want it to be as clean as possible. You don't want to spray anything in there. So, weed barrier is first and foremost important. Secondly, you can see that around the edges, the sharp edges of the wire that we used a conduit cover, PVC cover, pipe insulation, whatever you want to call it. That's what we used. Well, part of it came off. It was too small. It needs to be a little bit larger in diameter. The most important place that it should have been is where it came apart. Along the top where there's a lot of friction and the wind and the rain and so forth. So if you're going to have to connect, then you need to connect over on the side and put some extra insulation there where you connect. A bigger diameter, I think, would be very helpful. Some people use pool noodles. I didn't have any, but I know that they make this pipe insulation thicker, bigger in diameter. So we're going to do that this time. Otherwise, the thicker plastic. I used the plastic to cover this like most people do in a greenhouse, but I used a thinner meal. And in the heat and the wind and the cold and the wind and all the things, you need a thicker meal plastic. This is what I did, and this is what I have now. So it's going to cost you more, but it's worth it in the end because now this has to be replaced. I bought a large roll. I probably have enough left that I could put a little more on here and start over this summer, but honestly, it's not worth it to me. I'm going to pull this down, pull the trimming down, and do away with this stuff. Put, like I said, a better pipe insulator, bigger diameter here. Probably sand down some of the sharper edges here. The foundation of it is fine. I don't know if you've seen the greenhouse video that we made last year, but we used the corrugated plastic here on the bottom pieces. And we made that so that the sides You can see right here the sides can raise up so you can get air. Another thing that I would probably do that much difference is I would fix it where I could put a fan. Either like back above that window, find a small one of those window fans, you know, that's like this big and this wide and you stretch out. Probably try to fit one of those in there this summer. Just so there's some air circulation on the super, super hot days, you know, to keep the air flowing, because man, it can get super hot. Now, one more thing that I'm going to invest in for sure is shade cloth. Absolute shade cloth. In the later part of the season, when you are maybe starting your cool season crops, between the shade cloth and the fan above that window, I think I'll be able to start even my fall plants in there maybe. Or a succession planting of what I've already got in the garden. So in addition to all of this work that has to be done like last week, because it is January, I've got 3 weeks maybe till I need to have things started, growing, ready to go. I talked last year about relocating the garden. But you know, let me just be upfront and honest with you. When you live on a farm, saying you're gonna do something and actually getting it done rarely happens. And the reason being is you just have so many other things to do. There's so many other things that come up. So this year, relocating my garden, our garden, is one of the things that kind of got pushed over to the side because there were so many other things going on. I'm going to amend the soil as much as I can, because on this side, there's a ton of clay on this upper side here. If any of my local friends are watching and you have a good source for local compost in bulk, let me know. So to have that good stuff, good stuff to put back in there would be wonderful. And it's got to be done or I can't plant this side. Even my sunflowers that usually are huge and beautiful, they were stunted and muted this year. They didn't do much. So it's really disappointing. This side, this is where my tomatoes were, still don't have the T-post pulled up, so got to get that done. But this side did pretty good, actually. There comes the wind. Brr. Okay, so I don't know what he's after. Maybe a rabbit? I don't know. It's a mouse. We have had, and you know, there's been information. Oh, it's a mouse family. They came over here. They're running from him. I guess he thinks he's a cat. I need some cats. So there's been all over the interwebs. There has been information and people just going crazy because we've had so much snow. Y'all, we have had 2 snows and it accumulated more than snow for the entire season in Tennessee. Oh. Got snow? Huh? We're Tennessee cows. We don't know about this crazy weather. The first time I think we had like here, which we are 50 miles east of Nashville, we had probably 7 or 8 inches here. It's belly deep to a puppy dog. And on the farm, as you go out into the pastures and things, there were places that there were 10 inches. Man.
It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. We don't get this very often.
It
I like how the trees are kind of bending over.
Why does that? But you know they can't fall.
Yeah. So that, I don't know if you know this or not, but you know I'm big on wives' tales. If the snow lays around for a while, it's waiting on the next snow. Wow. Tucker, that's a good snow angel right there. Well, sure enough, that snow waited around until this snow came, and this snow was as bad or worse because this snow had a little ice in it. The temperatures dropped down in the single digits, and so everything froze. So we probably had another 7 to 9 inches here. Where we going, girls?
To sled.
Where we going, Pa?
We're going to check the fence for down trees. And
Yes, go sled.
then we're going to try to sled. We'll see.
It's awful wet, but we're gonna try. The worst thing about any of it is it wasn't snowman building snow. It wasn't, it was hard to sled in. It didn't pack good for snowmen. And when it's in single digits on the temperature, it's kind of hard for the kids to get out and have a big time anyway, because it's just viciously cold. There's just a lot going on for everybody right now. Y'all stay safe, be healthy. Go hug the people you love, to quote my favorite sister-in-law. Hug your people. And join me back here at Life on Helton Creek. Like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below, whatever you feel like doing. Thanks for joining us today, and y'all be blessed. All right, y'all, so we're filling up the hay for the girls. And we can't hardly get the hay in there for them sticking their heads in trying to eat the fresh. Dogs.